3 down and 5 picks to go. We are 2 days into the draft, but the bulk of the Eagles picks still remain. Thanks so much for joining us on Eagles Draft Central, presented by Dietz and Watson. Amy Campbell, Fran Duffy here to take you through what is going to be a long and exciting day. And Fran, let's first recap what we've gotten so far. Night 1, Jalen Reagor, wide receiver in the first round. Night 2, Jalen Hurts, quarterback in the second round. And in the third round, linebacker Davion Taylor. Let's talk about night 2, Hurts and Taylor. What do you see these new Eagles adding to the team?
Well, I think ultimately, Amy, when you look at all three players, if you put all three of them into a bundle and say, okay, what have the Eagles done over the first couple of days? I would say that really the big objective coming into this offseason was to get younger and faster on both sides of the ball. When you look at free agency and then here you look at what they've done through the first 2 days of the draft, they have done that. Obviously, look, all these guys are young, coming from college, but all three of these players are going to be 21. They are not 23-year-old rookies, not 24-year-old rookies. They're going to be 21 years old in their first year in the NFL. They've gotten younger. All three players are very fast, very athletic for their respective positions.
All right, as we get settled in for a long day 3 of the draft, let's take a look at the Eagles picks for the day. Potential is the name of the game. 5 picks, 3 of them in round 4. Pretty close together there, 127 and then back-to-back 145 and 146. And then later in round 5, 168, round 6, 190 overall. So a lot to look forward to today. That's, of course, as it stands right now, and all of that could change. So with that, let's turn to our Eagles insider, Dave Spadaro. And Dave, we know this is Howie Roseman's favorite day because of all of the potential to make moves and acquire talent. How big is day 3 in the draft when it comes to building a team?
Amy, if you want to project players who will have key roles in the 2020 season, there are 4 of them who have come on the 3rd day of the draft. Jason Kelce is the poster child for getting it right. A 2011 pick, number 191 overall. All he's done is make 3 Pro Bowls, All-Pro center 3 times, and of course a Super Bowl champion. Jalen Mills, a 7th-round draft pick in 2016, who's been a starter for the Eagles. He's been a terrific player, and he will be very intricate with the Eagles, integral with the Eagles in this defense. And then Avonte Maddox, 4th-round draft pick 2018, key guy, potentially a starter opposite Darius Slay. And then Nathan Gary, who came out of his shell last year, had an opportunity to play a lot, 5th-round draft pick in 2017. Throughout the year, starting back in 2010 with Kurt Coleman, who's still in the NFL, a 7th-round draft pick. This is where you earn your stripes as a scouting department, and the Eagles have been able to reap the benefits through the years. They look to do that today.
David, it's a great point you make on all those names that you brought up. I mean, really, if you break down day 3 into 2 different buckets, you're looking at guys that either can fit a very specific role for your team early on, so role players, or guys that can be 3-down players that fell out of the first 2 days because of some kind of a red flag. Maybe they're developmental, maybe there was an injury, maybe there was some kind of an off-field incident. Regardless, those are the 3 kinds of things you're looking for here. You want to try and find somebody that's got an elite trait. Remember Jason Kelce, that elite athleticism. If you have something there, and then you also have your role players, that's really what day 3 is all about. My question for you, Dave, is this, you've been, just wheeling and dealing behind the scenes here. So much access, so many interviews. What do you have lined up for us today? I'm excited to see some of the names that you're going to talk to here on the 3rd day of the draft.
Well, we don't know what direction the Eagles are going to go here in this 3rd day of the draft. Defense, there obviously are some clear needs. So we'll talk to each of the players that the Eagles select. And then we'll also talk to the personnel department. Ian Cunningham, the Assistant Director of Player Personnel, will join us, and we'll talk about the draft process, the scouting process, and what the Eagles have seen in their first 3 selections in this 2020 draft. So we are just getting started, a lot to get to. And as we found out yesterday, the unpredictable nature of an NFL draft is very exciting. You pretty much have to be ready for anything, and I'm ready right here to bring it to you.
We know you're always ready for anything, Dave. We look forward to seeing all that you're bringing us throughout the day. Hope you got your coffee. We will check in with you throughout the day. Thanks so much.
All right, guys.
All right, and as we continue to get to know the new Eagles, Davion Taylor, linebacker from Colorado, will provide a big addition to this Jim Schwartz defense. Fran Duffy was able to catch up with his college defensive coordinator, Tyson Summers from Colorado, to learn a little bit more about this new Eagle.
Well, really excited to talk to University of Colorado defensive coordinator Tyson Summers. Coach, welcome. Really appreciate you joining us here to talk about the Eagles' third-round pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, Davion Taylor. This is a guy that you got to work with last season in 2019. I just want to ask you, when you first got to campus there at Colorado, what was your first interaction? What was your first takeaway when working with Davion?
Well, Davion was one of the first players that I met. He, as soon as we got hired and I got there that day, Coach Tucker had given him my phone number already, and he came right to the office to introduce himself. He's got a big personality. He's got a big smile. He's always smiling. He's never had a bad day. He's never had a bad hour. He's never had a bad minute. And the very first thing he asked me, he said, I want to play in the NFL. What do I have to do to play that well to get drafted? And we all told him was you have to keep working at it. You've been given some physical tools and the ability to run more so than anybody else I'd really ever been around at his size, and just keep learning ball. And that was the big challenge for him, was not understanding necessarily all the ins and outs of the game and the position. But I'll give him a lot of credit. I told him that, right around January 1, and I saw him every day for an extra 2 hours a day until our last game of the year.
High praise for the new Eagle, Davion Taylor, from his college defensive coordinator there. All right, now we've had a closer look from his coach. Let's hear from the new Eagle himself. Eagles insider Dave Spadaro went one-on-one with linebacker Davion Taylor to hear about his excitement for joining the Philadelphia Eagles. Take a look.
We welcome you on this late evening, Friday night. I'm Eagles insider Dave Spadaro, and I welcome in the newest Philadelphia Eagle from the University of Colorado, linebacker Davion Taylor, taken by the Eagles with the 103rd pick overall in this 2020 NFL Draft. Davion, welcome to Philadelphia. What is the feeling to be drafted in the NFL?
It's a feeling that I can't explain. Definitely, just like knowing my past and everything. Just I never thought I'd be in this position today, and it's just a dream come true. It really is.
All right, so we got to start with the story that I know you've talked about a million times. Your religious beliefs, all the way until the age of 18, you did not play football, did not play sports, participate in sports from sundown Friday night until Sunday morning, which, of course, in the world of high school football, means that you did not have a football career except for 1.5 games in your high school days. How did that kind of help shape you to get to this point? I mean, I know the football part of it is that you didn't have a lot of experience, but it certainly must have built up a lot of desire and love for the game of football.
Yes, sir. And I'll say, like, example of that desire and love is my senior year, even though I did play a 1.5 game, I was practicing every day with the team. I just always loved the game. I always wanted to follow it, playing in college. And that's what I did. And then I just always had that desire and just that fire just to keep on learning the game, keep on just getting better, because I feel like the more I learn the game, you can see it on the field. And every game I was just getting better and better.
Did you get frustrated not playing football in the game environment?
Oh, yes, sir. I did definitely every Friday, because I used to eat lunch with the team, and having that walk home used to be like probably the saddest walks of my life. And I always want to be on the field to help my brothers win. And not being on the field really hurt me a lot. But I knew I was gonna get my chance to go, get my opportunity, and I just made sure when I did get my opportunity, I took advantage of it.
Davion, when you had those long, lonely walks, did you allow yourself to dream big and to visualize that someday you might get to that very highest level?
I dreamed big, but my dreaming big was just making it to a D1 team. I didn't dream at NFL just yet, because I knew I had a long journey ahead of me. So I was really just trying to take step by step, and and I was just all them walks. I was like, I just want to make it to a D1 team. I just want to just make a team. That was just always in my mind every time, because I wanted to play football, but my religion just didn't allow me to. and like those painful walks just helped me as a person, to be honest.
Evident love for the game there from the new Eagles linebacker. And the Eagles also added to the offense in night two, drafting quarterback Jalen Hurts out of Oklahoma in the second round. Dave Spadaro, of course, as always, caught up with Jalen after he was drafted to hear about his excitement for joining the Eagles franchise.
Hello, Eagles fans around the world, Eagles everywhere. I'm Eagles insider Dave Spadaro, and with me is the Philadelphia Eagle quarterback who was taken with the 53rd overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. We welcome in Jalen Hurts. And Jalen, welcome to Philadelphia. And how's it feel to be a member of this football team?
It's surreal. Just to have this opportunity to be a part of the organization. I'm ready to go to work.
Let's talk about a college career, Jalen, that, I mean, remarkable. 38 wins, 4 losses as a starter, runner-up to the Heisman Trophy voting in the 2019 season with Oklahoma. I mean, the numbers are staggering. Almost 3,300 rushing yards, nearly 10,000 passing yards. What was the key to your success, both on the field with the numbers and the winning, and then as a leader, because everybody talks about what an incredible leader and teammate you are?
I think the biggest thing is always keeping my trust in God. You know, I always find myself being at peace, knowing that He's in control at all times. And for me, I just want to take steps every day, control what I can, do the right thing, go to work, man, work hard.
Jalen, you're coming to Philadelphia, a situation here with Carson Wentz at the age of 27, in the prime of his career, one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. What do you think you can learn from him? And then what do you think that you will add to the quarterback room?
I'm just excited to go up there and meet everybody, see the guys, and just learn. It's a great opportunity, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Jalen, for those fans who, I can't imagine that fans don't know who you are and who haven't seen you, but what have you developed the most in your 4 years in college? 3 at Alabama and then 1 at Oklahoma.
A hard-working guy, a guy that's going to try and impact the guys around him. I think that's what matters the most. You know, I'm excited to be around the guys and meet everybody and just see where we go.
Jalen, do you think that being a great leader is something that you are born with, or do you think it's something that you develop throughout the course of your athletic career?
I think some people have the it factor and they have it in them. Nobody really knows what it is. There are things I've experienced throughout my life and things like that have made me who I am, and I'm appreciative of all of those things and all those people that have impacted me.
How was the celebration, Jalen, after you got the phone call from the Eagles and you celebrated with your family?
Very surreal. It's kind of like it's all a dream, you know. You work so hard as a kid, you go through your ups and your downs in life, and you just go through life and what life throws your way.
And for the rest of that conversation with Dave Spadaro and Jalen Hurts, as well as all of the exclusive interviews, you can check out PhiladelphiaEagles.com and all of our social channels, as well as our mobile app. And Fran, when I watch that interview, what really stands out to me is Jalen Hurts is a guy who is very experienced in walking into a locker room of strangers and winning over a team. He's not going to be intimidated to walk into an established team and get to know everybody.
Yeah, that's what he did last year at Oklahoma, and that's what he'll do in the NFL. I mean, to me, one of the most important traits that the quarterback can have is his ability to be able to connect and relate to all of his teammates. You know, you've got guys in that locker room, in a football locker room, that come from so many different backgrounds, so many different upbringings. You've got to be able to relate to all those guys, and Jalen Hurts obviously has that gene in him.
And as we get closer to the start of the third day of the draft and we keep talking about all of that potential to continue to build a team, we've got some names for you to know, Eagles fans. Guys you're going to want to keep an eye on today. Ross Tucker will be joining us to break it all down on the other side of this break.
Hi, it's Jan from Toyota. As part of your community, we're here to help you during these challenging times.
Keeping your Toyota safe and reliable is essential, especially right now. That's why many of our Toyota service centers are open for your vehicle needs. so you can schedule service online and drop off and pick up your vehicle with no contact for your peace of mind.
We're here for you. Contact your local Toyota dealer to see how they can help. Toyota.
As you prepare to watch your Eagles in Day 3 of the 2020 NFL Draft, visit budlight.com/open for takeout to see which bars and restaurants near you are open for takeout and delivery. Now, more than ever, we need to serve those who serve us. And with 4 rounds to go, the majority of the prospects have yet to be chosen, and we bring in our Eagles preseason analyst, Ross Tucker, to talk about some of the names Eagles fans need to be watching today. Ross, it's a long day. Who do you think fans need to keep an eye on?
Well, I want to target Virginia cornerback Bryce Hall because the Eagles haven't taken a corner yet. We all know that they traded for Darius Slay, which was an awesome trade, but they still are going to be looking to add young guys to that defensive backfield, and he had an unbelievably productive career for the Virginia Cavaliers. He's a local kid here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I've met him, has a wide receiver background in high school. Then he goes to Virginia and plays as a true freshman. He's got terrific length, long arms, and unbelievable ball production. You're talking about 22 pass breakups as a junior. I don't think I've ever seen that before. You can see the way he's able to break on the football and bat it down. 22 pass breakups. I mean, think about some of the other guys we've been talking about that tie for a team lead with 7 or 10 in a season. He had 22. He really, a lot of people think, would have been a first-round pick if he left after the 2018 draft. He's a very willing tackler as well. He returned for his senior year. Unfortunately, he suffered a significant injury, a dislocated ankle, which hurt his draft prospects. But he's a guy that is expected to play this year, is a 4-year player at Virginia that has a lot of the traits you are looking for from the cornerback position.
Ross, one of the things that stood out to me about Bryce Hall overall over the course of the last 2 years is that even against the best competition, he always showed up, was extremely competitive, and I agree, his ball skills were really, really impressive on film. His ability to go up, track the football, find it, make a play on it. I remember his game against Kelvin Harmon, who was one of the best players in the ACC in 2018. He locked Harmon down. Certainly Harmon now in the NFC East with Washington. I think you look at Bryce Hall, very, very intriguing player because of all those traits.
When you talk about those numbers, that athleticism, this is a guy who came into college recruited under the athlete category. So there was a lot of questions about would he play on the offensive side or the defensive side of the ball. So you almost see those receiver-like tendencies as a DB. So much to watch with him. All right, Fran, who's a name that you have an eye on today for the Eagles?
One guy that I've been talking about over on the Journey of the Draft podcast, driven by AAA for months now, is Clemson safety Kayvon Wallace. You know, we've talked about Isaiah Simmons and how versatile he is and all the different ways he was used. Well, in order to have one versatile guy in the defensive secondary, you need multiple versatile guys. You need everybody to be versatile chess pieces, and that's what Kayvon Wallace was. More often than not, he was in the slot, he was down in the box, kind of similar to how the Eagles have used Malcolm Jenkins over the last couple of years. He's built like a slot corner, but he's very physical, he's really instinctive. 4-year starter for Clemson. This is a guy who's played a lot of football at a very high level for a great defense. Does a lot of the dirty work as well. I'm a big fan of Kayvon Wallace.
You know, I'm not surprised, Fran, because I talked to a scout a couple weeks ago, and they felt like Kayvon Wallace was one of the most underrated prospects in the entire draft. You know, what happens is he gets overshadowed by teammates like Isaiah Simmons, as well as A.J. Terrell, a couple guys that went in the top 16 picks. He actually reminds me a lot of a guy I talked about last night in Antoine Winfield Jr. Just the football intelligence, the instincts, the ability to play multiple spots on the defense. And he tied for the Clemson lead a year ago with 10 pass breakups. So he's got the ball production as well and the versatility that we know Jim Schwartz really likes.
Well, and I think that's a good point about being overshadowed, Ross, because that sometimes happens at Clemson when you have so many stars on the field. I love to see a championship pedigree, and those Clemson defenders have been giving that school a good reputation when they get to the NFL. All right, for my guy, I am going to Utah. Bradley Anae, defensive lineman. We know the Eagles love to build through the trenches, and they haven't taken a defensive lineman yet in this draft. This guy is dubbed the unofficial mayor of Sack Lake City, which I think is so clever. The all-time leader in sacks at Utah with 30 sacks in his career, and he had 13 in his senior season. Of course, an outstanding Senior Bowl as well, Fran. I know you can speak to that. 3 sacks there. This is a hungry, high-effort player who is quick off the edge and from a football family. His father signed with the Eagles as an undrafted free agent in 1982. Everyone in his family went to BYU. He decided to make his own way and go to Utah. So a name to watch today in Bradley Anae.
Amy, I love this guy. I'm glad this is the guy that we're talking about. As you can tell over the last couple of days, I am a production over combine guy. And Bradley Anae, they don't just hand out 30 sacks. You got to get them. You have to earn them. He is unbelievably onerous, feisty. He gets after people at the point of attack. Offensive tackles do not like going against Bradley Anae, and he's very good with his hands. At the next level, I feel like skills separate more than traits. Bradley Anae has very good skills and seems like a perfect guy, 4th, 5th round, to get in the mix and try to get some playing time and help this Eagles pass rush.
Utah's had a few guys drafted already, all of them on the back end in the secondary. I expect a handful of guys on that defense to get drafted today. I feel like Anae might be the first one off the board. You look at him, you look at Lecky Fotu, John Pennicini, Francis Bernard, loaded defense for that Utes team. I watched a lot of them this fall, not just on film, but even watching them on TV late on Saturday nights or on Friday nights. He is always a guy that flashes, that jumps off the screen, not just because of his production, but because of his tenacity, his motor. One of my favorite players, certainly, in this draft, and I love that kind of value early on day 3.
Fran Duffy bringing some bonus names to the people. I love it. All right, Ross, we are going to let you go for now. We are going to take a quick break. We will see you in just a minute.
Hi, it's Jan from Toyota. As part of your community, we're here to help you during these challenging times.
Keeping your Toyota safe and reliable is essential, especially right now. That's why many of our Toyota service centers are open for your vehicle needs. So you can schedule service online and drop off and pick up your vehicle with no contact for your peace of mind.
We're here for you. Contact your local Toyota dealer to see how they can help. Toyota.
All right, and as we continue to get ready for a long and exciting day 3 of the NFL Draft, Eagles Draft Central is presented by Dietz and Watson, the proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. We will be back following the announcement of each of the Eagles' Day 3 picks all day long here on Eagles Draft Central, presented by Dietz and Watson. Fran and I will be breaking it down with instant impact. Fran, let's remind the people one more time all the potential that the Eagles have for today. 5 picks, and round 4 is where it really gets juicy. In a 19-pick span, the Eagles will be adding 3 new players as it stands right now at pick 127, 145, and 146, and then then one pick in the 5th and one pick in the 6th as it stands right now. Fran, are you a coffee guy? Are you an energy drink guy? Are you just excited about the draft so you don't need any extra help? Where do you stand with all this?
I'm running on adrenaline right now. This is my favorite day of the draft, and to me, you look at all the talent that's on the board. This is exciting. We haven't seen any trades yet from the Eagles and Howie Roseman. Don't be surprised if there's some wheeling and dealing, either moving up or moving back at some point today as well.
Yeah, we know Howie loves to do the wheeling and dealing and be working the phone lines. All right, like I said, we will be back with instant analysis as soon as the pick is made. Join us right here on PhiladelphiaEagles.com and all of our social platforms, as well as our Eagles mobile app. And again, on the Eagles mobile app, we have so many fun polls going on throughout this process for you, those from our friends at NovaCare Rehabilitation, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already done so. All right, we will see you right back here as soon as the pick is announced.